Ever feel like you're on the brink of failure? Like the whole world is watching, waiting for you to fall? What if I told you that the path to unimaginable success is paved with spectacular failures? Today, we're not talking about Elon Musk, the billionaire, the icon, the meme lord. We're talking about Elon Musk, the failure. We're going to uncover the brutal, gut-wrenching setbacks that almost broke him, but instead forged him into the innovator we know today. Stick around because these stories aren't just about him. They're about the relentless human spirit, and they might just change how you see your own struggles. Let's rewind to the beginning. Before Tesla, before SpaceX, there was Zip2. In 1995, Elon and his brother Kimball started a company that was basically an early version of Google Maps and Yelp combined. They were young, broke, and relentless. Elon literally lived in the office, showering at the local YMCA. They poured every ounce of their being into it. After 4 years of relentless grinding, they sold Zip2 for over $300 million. Elon walked away with $22 million. Success, right? But here's the twist. Elon was actually pushed out of the CEO role by the board. They didn't think he had the experience to lead. That's a tough pill to swallow. Imagine building something from nothing, only to be told you're not good enough to run it. Lesson 1 was served cold. Having a vision isn't enough. You need to navigate the world of business, investors, and power dynamics. This early sting taught him the importance of maintaining control, a lesson he would never forget. With his millions, Elon didn't buy an island. He went all in. He co-founded XCOM, an online bank that aimed to revolutionize the financial industry. This was the late 90s, and people were terrified of putting their credit card information online. Elon was trying to build an entire bank on the internet. Ambitious doesn't even begin to cover it. The company eventually merged with a competitor, Confinity, which had a little feature called PayPal. But the merger was a culture clash from hell. The two teams had completely different ideas about technology and leadership. While Elon was on his honeymoon, a trip he had delayed for work, the board staged a coup. They fired him as CEO and replaced him with Peter Thiel. He found out when he landed. Imagine that. You're on what's supposed to be the happiest trip of your life, and you get kicked out of your own company. He could have fought it, but he handled it with surprising grace. He remained a major shareholder. When eBay bought PayPal for $1.5 billion, Elon netted about $180 million. The failure? Losing control. The lesson? He learned how to handle internal conflict and, more importantly, how to pick his battles and play the long game. It was a masterclass in turning a professional catastrophe into a financial windfall. Now, with a real fortune, Elon could finally chase his childhood dream, space. He founded SpaceX in 2002 with the insane goal of making humanity a multiplanetary species. But space is hard. Really, really hard. His first rocket, the Falcon 1, was his baby. He poured $100 million of his own money into it. The first launch in 2006, the rocket lifted off, the engine caught fire, and it crashed into the ocean just seconds later. A fiery, multi-million-dollar failure. The second attempt, a year later, the rocket soared higher, but then spiraled out of control and exploded. Another failure. The team was devastated. Critics were calling him a fool, a charlatan wasting his fortune. The third attempt in 2008 was even more heartbreaking. This one carried NASA satellites. The rocket launched beautifully. Everything looked perfect. But a tiny error during stage separation caused the first and second stages to collide. Boom. Another catastrophic failure. 3 launches, 3 explosions. The company was on its last legs. Elon was down to his last dollar. He said later that if the 4th launch failed, SpaceX was done, the dream was over. And it wasn't just SpaceX that was imploding. At the exact same time, his other venture, Tesla, was in what he called production hell. The company was bleeding money, unable to produce its first car, the Roadster, at a viable cost. They were burning through millions each month. The 2008 financial crisis hit, and funding dried up completely. Banks wouldn't touch them. Elon was facing a terrifying choice. Let one company die to save the other, or risk losing both. He was on the verge of a total breakdown. He described 2008 as the worst year of his life. His company was failing, his personal fortune was gone, and on top of all that, he was going through a painful public divorce. He was borrowing money from friends just to pay his living expenses. This is the part of the story most people don't know. The invincible Iron Man was broken. Can you imagine the pressure? The weight of thousands of jobs, 2 revolutionary companies, and your entire life's work all resting on your shoulders, and it's all crumbling. This is the moment of truth. The eagle has fallen. The world is watching. But what happens next is what separates the dreamers from the doers. With everything on the line, SpaceX prepped for its 4th launch. On September 28, 2008, the Falcon 1 rocket once again roared to life. It cleared the tower. It passed the point of previous failures. The stages separated perfectly. And then it reached orbit. The first ever privately funded liquid-fueled rocket to do so. The control room erupted. Tears of relief, of joy, of pure, unadulterated triumph. They had done it. Against all odds, they had touched the heavens. Elon, watching from the control room, was speechless. That single success saved the company. Days later, NASA awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract. The gamble had paid off. Simultaneously, back on Earth, Tesla was just days from bankruptcy. Elon scraped together every last penny he had, convinced investors to take one last leap of faith, and secured a last-minute funding round on Christmas Eve of 2008. He saved Tesla from complete collapse with literally hours to spare. The lessons from this year of hell were profound. First, resilience in the face of absolute despair. When everything is going wrong, you have to keep moving forward. Second, the power of belief. He believed in his mission so deeply that he was willing to bet everything he had, not once, but over and over again. This wasn't just business. It was a crusade. But the failures didn't stop there. They just got bigger. Think about the Starship prototypes. We've all seen the videos. Rockets exploding spectacularly on the landing pad, one after another. SN8, SN9, SN10, SN11. A series of rapid, unscheduled disassemblies, as they humorously call it. To the outside world, it looks like a string of expensive failures. But to Musk and his team, this is the strategy. He calls it the hardware-rich approach. Build, fly, fail, learn, and repeat. Each explosion isn't a failure. It's a data point. They learn more from a rocket that blows up trying something new than one that sits safely on a spreadsheet. This philosophy of embracing failure as an integral part of the innovation process is perhaps his greatest lesson of all. Fail fast, fail forward. It's a mindset that has allowed SpaceX to advance at a speed previously thought impossible in the aerospace industry. Even his personal life and public persona have been marked by what many would call failures. His tweets have moved markets and landed him in trouble with the SEC. His acquisition of Twitter, now X, has been chaotic and controversial, with massive layoffs and radical changes. He's been criticized for his leadership style, his public statements, and his sometimes erratic behavior. But through it all, he remains unapologetically himself. The lesson here is one of authenticity and thick skin. When you are trying to change the world, you will be criticized. You will be misunderstood. You cannot let the fear of what people will say paralyze you. You have to develop an almost inhuman tolerance for public scrutiny and stick to your convictions. So what can we learn from all this? Elon Musk's story isn't a fairy tale. It's a testament to the brutal reality of innovation. It teaches us that success is not the absence of failure, but the persistence through it. It's about having a mission so powerful that it pulls you through the darkest moments. It's about understanding that every setback, every explosion, every near bankruptcy is a lesson in disguise. It's the universe's way of testing your resolve. The eagle falls, yes. It gets battered, bruised, and left for dead. But it learns from the fall. It understands the wind better. It strengthens its wings. And when it rises again, it soars higher than ever before. Your biggest failures are not your epitaph. They are your education. They are the fire that forges you. So the next time you fail, don't despair. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? And then get back up and try again, because your greatest success might be just one spectacular failure away. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that fuels your ambition. Let me know in the comments which of Elon's failures you find most inspiring. Until next time, keep chasing those audacious goals.